Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. And for those of you who have just arrived, welcome to the Independent Hotel Show in Amsterdam. And those of you who have been there before, welcome back. Previously, we had a session on family-run businesses. And now we return with an industry pioneer, an iconic hotelier of an even iconic hotel. I see people disagreeing, but that's not because they disagree, but it's out of admiration, I know. And it's my distinct pleasure to present to you Robert-Jan Woltering.
Thank you very much. Meneer Allegro.
Mr. Woltering, or Robert-Jan as we can
Yes,
say.
please.
You have quite an impressive career in the industry. You've worked all over the world. And now you're back in the city where it all started, right? What's it like to be back?
Well, it's first of all, it's a great honor to be leading the Pearl of Amsterdam in my native city, which is fantastic. I truly believe that this is a hotel which we can take to the next era.
For that one person in the room that doesn't know, it's the wonderful Hotel de l'Europe here in Amsterdam.
Yeah, absolutely. The Hotel de l'Europe, part of leading hotels of the world as well, and it's very exciting to be there. It's funny that you just came out of a discussion about family businesses, because we are a family-owned hotel. The hotel, for those of you that don't know, is owned by the Heineken family. And so we are a proud member of Heineken, so we wear that green star in our heart.
So you're a 5-star with a green star on top of that, actually.
We have many stars. We are a 5-star hotel. We are a leading hotel. We have 2 Michelin stars and maybe many more stars to come. I think I'm a very lucky guy, because I'm actually having about 205 different stars floating around all over the hotel, which are all the team members, and that makes me very, very proud. They make the hotel.
Well, that's a wonderful perspective. And one of the things that led you back here is that you had a career basically around the globe. You've been to so many places. Can you take us a bit through your career? Where did it start?
That was actually here in Amsterdam at the Hilton with some of you may know him, Roberto Payer. He was one of my few, but really outstanding examples. And my coach, he really motivated me to bring me where I am today. And from Amsterdam to Rotterdam to Paris to Madagascar, that was 8 years with Hilton. And then I joined Accor, and I worked first of all in Luxembourg. I worked in Sofitels, M Galleries, Mercures, what else did I do? Fairmonts, Raffles, and throughout the world. Basically 5 continents, 14 countries, and 27 years later I'm back.
You're back in the town where it all began, where even the place where you were born. Among your the hotels that you worked for and you were the general manager of, is a world icon, which is not only the Hotel de l'Europe, but which is the Raffles in Singapore. What was it like to be given the opportunity to run such an iconic hotel?
First of all, it was super humbling. It was a temporary mission. I was there to close the hotel down, which is really the kind of thing you do not want to do as a hotel general manager. But this was for a very good reason. It was the full renovation, so we were also able to sort of safeguard about 110 items that were antiques that they had in the hotel, and they wanted to actually dispose of. And I felt so sorry for that heritage that I was able to save it, which maybe is what led me to the L'Europe, which is another hotel full of heritage.
And you're here to save the L'Europe in that sense. And
I don't want to say save the hotel. I think the team is here to save it, and we save it all together. But we are definitely in transition. We are repositioning the hotel in a certain sense, maybe taking it to the next level. What I usually tell my team, I say, guys, we all play football. We want to play football, but you know, it's nice to play in the Nederlandse, ik weet niet hoe dat heet hier, de Dutch League.
The Champions League is the European one.
Yeah, no, the Dutch league.
The Eredivisie.
Eredivisie, die is it, yeah. It's nice to play in the Eredivisie, but let's focus on playing Champions League and let's go for the final and win it. So that's what we really want to do, is position the hotel between those top iconic hotels in Europe for the hotel part, but then also for the food and beverage part, because the L'Europe is not only 108 suites and rooms, it's also 3 restaurants and soon 3 bars. For now, 1 bar.
So we get 2 more bars.
We get, oh, that's a scoop, right?
We got a scoop here.
We got a scoop.
Anyone from the press here?
Don't write this down, but yes, 2 more bars coming and a fully renovated Freddy's, so that'll be interesting. But so the idea is also to position our food and beverage restaurants and bars as sort of the platform of Amsterdam. So for those of you that live here in the city, when you come home in the evening, say, darling, what are we going to do? Let's go to the L'Europe, because I know I'm going to be very well received. I will always meet somebody that I know. There's going to be nice music, great food and beverage, and a warm welcome. So, and to finish off the night, what is better than an ice-cold beer in Freddy's bar?
Well, I would say for a Heineken fan, that's probably the place to be anyway.
Absolutely.
When you talked about this, you started by saying we're going to bring it in a certain direction, and we're amongst peers, nobody's listening, and it's all private here. Can you give us a little more? Stefan will pay attention anyway. But can you tell us a little bit on what the goal is you see? You've just described that you wanted to be sort of the living room for Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And how is that going to be reflected in the way you run the hotel?
I'm running it like I run my own family and the family at the L'Europe, so like a good father of the family. But and I think, you know, what the past 35 years probably taught me is autonomy is what makes all the difference. So for those of you, I see a few GMs, but also leaders in the industry. I believe that autonomy gives the true freedom to our teams to be themselves, to be happy, to have fun in their jobs, in their daily lives, and to excel. I do not believe in micromanagement. I see a few of my team members here. Jaron, who just started 2 weeks ago, and he's looking smiling and happy.
Yeah, he only started 2 weeks ago. So.
He only started 2 weeks ago. So it's all about freedom, the freedom to act and the freedom to move.
And you said you have 205 stars walking around the hotel. They're making the hotel shine.
Absolutely.
They're your team. We all know that it's one of the big challenges today to keep such a team together, to keep them motivated, to keep them working towards that goal that you've set for them, which is quite ambitious.
Yes, it is.
What is it you do with your team, and what does your team do in order to make that happen and to keep them together and to make that family feeling that you just described?
Well, like I just said, I mean, first of all, it's autonomy. I also believe that we're here to make fun and to have fun. I think you spend probably about a third of your life in the hotel or in your job. And so for some of us, it's a little bit more maybe than a third. And so it's really, really important to enjoy the day, seize the day, and really have fun. It is business, but it's only business, right? So once you got the KPIs sorted out and you can focus on the fun bit, it makes it so much more cooler and nicer. And then if you have that set of colleagues that make it a truly unique, homogeneous sort of set, then you can basically go to the moon and beyond.
And beyond.
You reach for the stars, as we say.
Yeah, and you have 205 already, so you can collect even more, not even counting the restaurants yet. One of the things that is quite clear is that the current hotel you work at is part of the Heineken family.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily part of the Heineken company. But you have always worked for companies like Hilton Accor, corporate environments that have quite distinctive rules and regulations and ways to deal with. Whereas now you operate in a freestanding, standalone, independent hotel. What are the differences that strike you most?
In a way, it's all the same, because we all strive to maximize our results, and so we're all entrepreneurs, and we need that entrepreneurial leadership. The big difference is the autonomy. I have a lot more autonomy. My leaders have a lot more autonomy. And so you can truly create the vision of the hotel, of the brand. We are branding ourselves as original Amsterdam luxury. I think that's quite unique. It sets us apart of the other hotels. And so that freedom to act, for me, makes the big difference. The rest is the same. We all need to respect corporate governance. We all need to apply the rules, manage it as a good father of a family. But that, for me, sets it aside, yes.
And you still have a board to report to, though, so there's still
trust
some line
me.
of command.
Yes. There's always a boss.
And is there anything you missed from the time you worked in that more corporate environment? Is there anything that you long for that you had back then that's no longer there?
Well, there's one thing I certainly do not miss, and that's all the red tape.
Which is the reporting and the meetings?
It's going through the hierarchy, answering to usually about 10 different people about the same issue, the same problem, the same challenges, the politics, indeed. That is, I would say, a lot less, if not non-existent. Yeah.
And that's something you don't miss at all.
I do not miss that. What I do miss is the sunshine.
Because you were in Mexico on your last post, and before that in Dubai.
Yeah.
So I can imagine that this must have been quite a challenge.
Walking up here in the front of the Rai and that cold wind, and like, where am I?
Where did this go wrong, right? But then you end up in Hotel L'Europe, so it's as if you're in the sunshine all day.
It's the crown on the jewel in my career, at least.
Well, hopefully there will be more jewels added to that crown. But
no, I wanted.
we were in school about the same time. What, in your opinion, has changed the most if you compare today's generation of hotel managers or graduates from hotel schools that are now entering our industry compared to when we were young and we were about to start our careers?
There's so many changes. Oh my God! I think the most flagrant one would be the whole distribution. I remember, when we were at school, revenue management was non-existent, basically.
Hotels had one rate year round, right? Maybe.
Absolutely.
Maybe low season, high season, that was it.
We were traveling to ITB. It's totally not relevant, at least not for luxury. But traveling to ITB, seeing tour operators making deals, where now everything is online, changing by the minute, by the hour. And thank God, it allows us to better manage our rates and actually maximize our rates and therefore our revenues.
And if you look at those graduates that come from hotel schools now, and you look at the way they present themselves, the way they behave, and you compare them to us, is there anything you admire in this new generation? You have kids that age yourself?
I to Jaron, they're still as arrogant as they used to be.
Well, some things don't change.
Right?
But that's because they're from The Hague, I guess. Right?
Probably.
Yeah.
No,
as we are.
Nothing really changed. I think the young people are still... they are still aiming for the stars. They are still eager. They want to be successful, create and enhance and make a career. And that's the beauty of it. Maybe they're smarter than we were because we were living in a different time zone. But that's it, really.
And a lot of our generation complains about the attitude of this generation. It's something that they said once about us, and it will probably continue after that.
Yeah.
Are you among those that have some criticism towards the attitude of those who come from hotel schools nowadays?
No, not really. I think it's all about how you manage your people. And if you are nice, it's really how I manage my kids and how I treat my kids. I'm nice to my kids, they're nice to me. And it's the same. I think if you open your heart, you will get so much back. And that's basically my life philosophy. Be loyal, be yourself, and work with an open heart and an open mind.
And that's your work philosophy as you described to us earlier.
100%. And it makes it too different.
And one of the things you said is that after the KPIs and everything's been taken care of, it's about having a good time together and making fun. Now, one of the things is that Hotel de l'Europe is celebrating quite more than 12 decades of history.
125.
It was officially last year, but it's 125. What celebrations did take place, and I heard about this. I'm really curious about this action where you were making the whole hotel available for rent. How did that work out? Did that
Yeah, that
occur?
was nice. Now, the first, it started with that great party that I believe sort of half of Amsterdam was talking about. I think we had 1,000 invitees, and it was from the lobby all the way into what we call it house, which is la maison in French.
I can tell from experience it was quite a party.
You were there, dancing till
Upstairs.
early morning, upstairs. Yeah, right.
What happens at the L'Europe stays at the L'Europe, so no comment.
Yes. We do not talk about that, but we had fun. Well, I did not, but you had. I wasn't there, but the marketing team came up with a really great promo, which was, I think, totally out of the box. We offered a $1.25 million package, and it allowed you to stay in the hotel for 2 days. You had access to all our restaurants, all the bars, and that was promoted. It basically was promoted through the press. It went totally viral. We did not sell it, but we involved all our partners in het house. So we had Mendo that offered some amazing books. You had Bibi van der Velde with her jewelry. You received a whole lot of gifts. Here's the beauty of the deal. It generated 7 million euros worth of media value. 7 million. I think it was the most brilliant thing that my marketing team has done. I applaud you. Mosan is here. She was the leader of the pack. Brilliant actions, right? And so that's basically what I mean. You need to give freedom to your teams to excel and to really...
And to come up with these ideas that are probably the type of thing that you would do easier as a standalone hotel than if you were part
100%,
of a
because
corporate
then you
chain.
get the red tape. But
Because then everybody would ask you, how can you do that, and what's the consequences?
and why do you do it, and what's the risk, and what will come back? It still gives me goosebumps when I think about this package and all the beautiful stuff that we do.
I have plenty of questions here, but should there be any questions in the audience, please raise your hand and we'd be happy to take them if there are any. Otherwise, we will just carry on and discuss like the two men we are and talk about the business.
Yes.
If you look at the Amsterdam landscape, you've been in Amsterdam about 10 years ago, I think, at the Grand, or maybe
I left
shorter.
10 years ago, yeah.
What has changed in this city? What do you see when you come now, when you're back in this business compared to 10 years ago?
It's a good question, actually. In a way, nothing changed because we're still talking about too many tourists, about drugs issues, and some other stuff that we have in Amsterdam. So that really hasn't changed. Definitely pricing changed. I remember when we were facing ADRs of, let's say, about 300, 325, $350 when you were pushing it. And now we are basically all used to ADRs of 700, 750 euros. So that makes a big change in driving the company and in the results, the financial results. And I think I see a few colleagues of Groot Amsterdam, zullen we maar zeggen, if we include Noordwijk and some other hotels. And I think we all see that uplift in ADR that creates bottom line value. And so finally, we can sustain true luxury, because that was always the problem, I believe. When your ADRs are not at the right level, you can financially not provide the right service. So we are now, we've kickstarted our butler services for our suites. We got 3 butlers employed. There's a few more coming. We finally have the right staffing in all our restaurants, bars, hotel rooms. And that makes a true difference. Because now you can focus on delivering the service and making a profit, which in the end is what we are here for, right?
Yeah, you described that ADRs went up quite significantly, or almost doubled in those years for the luxury segment, which allows you to offer that luxury service. We see a lot of new entrants in Amsterdam in the top tier, where we have the Rosewood about to open, where we have other 5-star hotels that have upgraded their offer. Do you think there is enough market for these hotels that are now popping up, or are we creating a market for ourselves? What is your take on the luxury segment in the Dutch and the Amsterdam hotel world?
I think the market, the luxury, endless market. If you look at the world, the United States represents a huge potential in growth, particularly in luxury travel. India is opening up. I don't know if you know, but India now has more inhabitants than China, and everybody's focusing on China. I think India has a huge potential tomorrow. So the potential definitely is there. And you know what, Sander? When I was a couple of years ago in Amsterdam, the Grand was renovating, and there was a few new kids on the block, Waldorf Astoria and Conservatorium, and we came back, and so our comp set basically went from 400 to 800 hotels. And I remember my budget presentation to Accor, and I was standing up and I said, Messieurs, dames, la situation est grave. And they all started to look very panicking, like, what the hell is going on with this guy? And so I said, you know, I'm really worried about the future with all this new influx. And in the end, we had the best year ever because of new business, because new brands bring new guests, entice other people to come to Amsterdam. I embrace Rosewood. I think they will lift us all up. They're going to bring a whole new kind of clientele that travels with private jets, that is looking for that ultra luxury experience. And so, you know, I embrace it. I'm really looking forward to them opening.
You welcome them to the market, and
100%.
you feel that it's going to bring,
I embrace them.
put Amsterdam even more on the map when it comes to that upper luxury sector.
Definitely, and that's exactly what we need in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
That upper market and segment. Yeah.
It's the first time you're on the Independent Hotel Show. Previously, you had not been in Europe. The theme of this year is the 5 senses of hospitality. What is your take on what you've seen so far, and is that what you get when you walk around?
Yeah, to a certain extent, the 5 senses of hospitality. Let me think. I'm not quite.
You're not
sure
smelling anything, or what?
I quite see it. No, sensory marketing is a big thing, of course, for everybody here in the room. But it's more important, I think, how do you translate that into your hotels? And so those 5 senses make me think a lot about the experience, you know. And what do you do in your hotel to create a truly authentic experience? So what I think is interesting, what we do at the L'Europe, is with that original Amsterdam luxury, all the experiences in it house, where you can, you know, live in the Bibi van der Velde suite and wear her jewelry, visit her exhibitions, and all the other partners, Ronald van der Kemp. When you come and stay with us, you get to wear his beautiful creations. That is what sets us apart, the beautiful bookshop Mendo. And that's really the enticement of the senses that I'm looking for. And I hope to find that here. I had a few very interesting discussions with some of our business partners. But yeah, sensory marketing, if that's the translation of the 5 senses, it's something I love. I've been embracing that for 15 years now. I think it makes a true difference in a hotel when you enter. Not only, you know, how do I entice the smell, but what I see, the colors, the music. You can really set the stage for, on one hand, success, but more importantly, about a truly authentic and true experience.
So you basically invite, if people want to experience true engagement of the senses, for them not only to visit the show, but also to visit the L'Europe later today.
I think Freddy's is not open today.
We have another day tomorrow. But
we have another day, and today we have the drinks here at the fair. So I would invite you all to come and have a drink tomorrow at Freddy's bar. It's great. We have not only the best beer in town, but I would say the best beer in the world. So come and have a drink with us at Freddy's. Yes.
Well, that sounds like the ending, but I have one more question, if you allow.
Thank God.
You have been in wonderful hotels. You've returned to the city where it all started. You're running the hotel that is on top of your list. So I'm sure you're quite happy where you are. But if you were given the opportunity, if you choose to have the opportunity to start your own hotel, could you take us on what would it look like? What is it that you would be tempted to start by yourself if you were choosing to do so?
Yeah, It would probably not be in the Netherlands, but
Some sunny place, I think.
a little bit warmer. I would focus only on guest experience. Probably will have to do with a bit of cleansing, a bit of fasting maybe, reaching all the way into yourself and maybe rediscover yourself.
So like a sanctuary
Kind of
retreat.
experience, maybe, yes. It would be great because I would hire my son. He's doing the hotel
No.
school as well, so I think
I
that'll
thought because
be
you were leading it. But
No. More like creating that family business again, which I truly cherish, and I truly embrace in my current job. I think it's so different, similar, but yet so different to what I've experienced in the last maybe 35 years of career. So yeah, that would probably be it, Sander. Yeah.
And small scale, big scale?
I don't know. I have to talk to my banker. Probably smaller.
Probably smaller. Okay. Well, if you have that luxury level in mind, it probably needs some investment in order to get there.
If there's anybody who wants to invest money in a hotel, reach out.
It's going to be this sanctuary retreat. It's going to be great, right? To close it off, you just mentioned that your son is currently in hotel school. And I understand that he's having a great time like we did at the time we were there. I don't know if he would ask your advice. He probably would with the type of relationship you described. What would your recommendations for him be if he would like to pursue a career in hospitality?
Seize the day. Be loyal. Be yourself. And be loyal to your wife. Because the family is what rules. And I think the family gives me so much back, so much reward, so much warmth, so much love, that keeps me going. And that's, that makes, as Diletta would say, that's the true diamond in life, right?
What else to say? Big thank you for Robert-Jan Woltering.
Thank you. Thank you, Sander. It was nice to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
This concludes this session. We'll be back here in about half an hour with a session of somebody from Picnic, the director of people, taking us from another industry's perspective. We hope to see you back then. Thank you.
Thank you.